Hello. This is Yona Tarot and Astrology, and you're watching today's tarot message, whatever is coming through from the universe. If you were drawn to the title of this video, then there might be messages for you. So stick around and we'll start immediately. So let's see what comes out. Messages for the viewer. Art of Fortune, increase. Pisces, I believe. And one more. South Node, Life's Death. Let me try to put this so you can see them clearly. Alright, so basically what I see from the get-go, if we go into the astrology, Pisces, what it represents usually, is the 12th house ruler. It indicates anything related to spirituality, letting go, expenses, isolation, faraway places, secluded places, and so forth. And then we have South Node, which is co-ruler of Pisces in Vedic astrology. And South Node kind of rules and represents similar themes that Pisces does, in the exception that South Node detaches from things. Pisces can also be a very detached sign in the sense that it's in the dream world, it's in the creative mind, it's in the woo-woo land, so to speak. So South Node kind of crosses that same line in the sense that South Node also rules enlightenment and spirituality, but in a more detached sense. Because South Node is very opposite of the materialistic sense, which is Rahu, or the North Node. And when we go deeper into the themes of South Node, how to reach the enlightenment is to be detached from all the materialistic aspects of life, which also includes our physical body, meaning senses, detaching from human desires and human senses. Because once we have no attachment to the physical, then we can reach the enlightenment because we are not dependent on our physical experience, if that makes sense. The only way to experience God is to be detached from ourselves and our physical needs and our physical environment. That's what meditation is based on, which also Pisces rules. Because Pisces rules the 12th house of isolation and the other realms, it also rules meditation. And me and my babbling here go into the third card, which is increase. I honestly am not sure astrology-wise much of the part of fortune, because I think it's more based on the Western astrology. But just based on how, like what is downloaded to me, I can definitely see that there is some type of urge to dig deeper into the realms of meditation and isolation in the positive sense of maybe exploring your inner self, exploring the themes of spirituality, meditation. And I think maybe if you're already in that path, I think that you might have increased impulse to go more towards there. Or if you're already practicing, I think maybe you will discover new techniques or new ways to explore this area. Or if you haven't been doing that, or you're just on the beginning stages or exploring this topic, I think that you will have increased infatuation towards these topics. There's a lot of beautiful content, for example, here on YouTube, about how to embark on the... I'm sorry, there was something... I have dishes in my sink and they just exploded suddenly. Random. So I guess that was a sign that there's might be something here for you. So what I was saying, in YouTube, for example, there's a lot of beautiful content related to this topic, like how, if you don't know how to start with meditation and contemplation and all this, more exploring your inner self, there's a lot of beautiful content on how to begin to do those things. And I highly encourage, if you haven't been doing that, it's a beautiful journey of self-exploration and finding your true self. And through that process, you actually find peace within yourself. Because let's just face the fact, we humans, we tend to find or seek the happiness and peace in the outside world through other people or through our senses, so to speak. But that's only temporary. I mean, it can bring us temporary peace and happiness and all that, but when the shit hits the fan, so to speak, does that hold that sense of peace within us? No, I don't think so. And how we can actually find it is to actually withdraw from the world and go more within and find ourselves and our soul and our connection to the divine, or whatever you want to label it. And that's what I believe where the true peace comes from. And this reading right now is highly encouraging you to explore that area of life. So let me take the tarot and let's see what other additional messages we have here. All right, Two of Wands. Two more, please. Six of Cups and Five of Pentacles. All right, let me organize these cards better so you can see them better. Let me see this way. All right, so I don't know. I'm getting this feeling that maybe something in the past you felt a sense of depletement. I don't know if that's the correct English word. Feeling of isolation maybe from others. I think this is more on the physical realm because we have the Five of Pentacles, and Pentacle represents the physical experience of things, and Five of Pentacles, that usually represents feelings like being left out, being abandoned, or financially not doing very great. Maybe you lost a job, things like that, just generally representing. But based on the topics that we just covered, I think that you might have a sense of feeling outside or feeling abandoned within yourself. I hope that makes sense when I say it that way. Maybe you have lost touch with that inner child that you have within, because Six of Cups can represent things like past or children or our inner child, for example. Or when we go into love readings, it can indicate somebody we feel an instant pull, like recognition. But in this topic, I think it's highly encouraging you to find that inner child again. I don't know if something happened, excuse me. I don't know if something happened in your past that left you feeling lost in some way, either in the physical world or lost within yourself. Also, funnily enough, there's this guy with the bell. I think it's this guy here. He has a bell, which means that he's drawing attention to his weaknesses. And I don't know if you have this feeling of, I don't know, this is purely channel thing. I think that there might be some type of negative self-talk stemming from past experiences that has affected, maybe because the Two of Wands, this represents usually things like crossroads, making some form of decision, leaving one thing behind, moving towards the next thing. And this guy is inside a castle where he's lived his whole life, and now he's looking at the world in his hands and the world in front of him, and he's wondering whether he could take the leap to explore something new. He's taking the first courageous steps to maybe see that, okay, I have lived here and this hasn't made me happy, clearly, because we have the Five of Pentacles. What can I do to actually create a fulfilling life for myself? I think that idea for that is coming through first finding that connection to the inner child, finding that connection with you and your soul, giving that cup, that energy that you have, not to others, but to yourself, that soul that you have within your body, and nourishing it, getting into connection with yourself again, knowing what you truly want from life. Again, because when we live in according to our soul's desire, life seems to just flow, and we live in the feeling of flow, and we have a lot of happiness, and it almost feels like everything just falls into place by themselves. There's not much resistance, if that makes sense. But once there is a discord between our soul's desire and the external world, it just creates chaos. It creates negative tension and energy. It strays us from the path that has been designed for us. And sometimes we get so lost in the external world that we get lost in touch with ourselves and our inner child and our soul's purpose. Because we all have a sole purpose here on Earth. We are not just born here for random reasons. We have some lessons that we are supposed to learn here. There are some things that we are meant to experience. And I think many times we talk ourselves, because again, there's the guy with the bell, that he's telling all these negative things to himself, like, oh, I'm too poor, I'm too this, I'm poor that. And he's talking himself out of experiencing that world that is outside the castle. He's keeping himself inside the comfort zone. Yeah, there's like a deep sense of sadness, like heavy sadness, I feel. I feel like heavy in my chest and my body right now. I think the spirit guides and the universe, or whatever you want to believe, is highly encouraging you to tap into your own self. Now is a great time to withdraw from the physical realm, especially if you've been contemplating between two choices, because this represents choices in our lives. I'm not saying that you need to take any decision right now or take any leap, because we have a very heavily spiritual inclination on the top cards here. I think this is more like use this time for yourself and inner exploration, because that will open the doors for the life that you've been... Let me try to explain it this way. It's like you have been contemplating, like deep inside you, you know what you want, but somehow you are talking yourself out of it, and it's almost like distraction. You're distracting that with the physical experience that you have right now, so that you can suffocate that feeling that you have within you that you would actually want. I think that to reach that sense of courage to actually listen to that inner voice that you have is to energetically upgrade yourself to that level, so that your physical and inner sense are aligned and equally heard. Also, this is just funny side message. We see in the card with the Six of Cups, there's houses with the roofs, and roofs represent safety, like we have a protection around us. This guy doesn't have any roof anymore. He has stepped outside of the house that he has lived. I don't know if you are guarding yourself, like you have some inner wishes that you want. You're keeping them inside you, but you would want to get out. There's like a restriction energy. I don't know how to explain it better. But this is highly encouraging that you should do some type of inner work. Let me take some additional messages just to guide you how you can take these steps forward. What is the practical steps here, please? Give me 3 more cards just to summarize this. Any guidance for the viewer? Ten of Wands. Justice. Fortune. Well, first of all, with the Ten of Wands, this represents things like hard work, putting the effort, putting all of your effort into something. But at the same time, also it means that this guy has accumulated a lot of effort, because Wands represents actions and efforts. He has been doing the work and he's almost like burned out. He's traveling to the house that you can see there, just that he can drop the wands that he's carrying. And you can see the pose that he has, the poster, and he's kind of slouching, and the wands are very heavy. That burden that you carry inside of you, it needs to be dropped somehow. Maybe you feel burnt out from that trapped hope that you have within you for things to change for the better. To no longer feeling that or living that negative energy that you have within you or about yourself, or discord with yourself and the outer world. Because with the Justice, there's needing for some type of balance. He has the scales here, and the swords represent truth. Maybe you need to be true to yourself, acknowledge, be more honest with yourself, how you actually feel, what would you actually want from your life. Don't suppress it, because there's the truth is hidden behind the veil. Once you actually start admitting to yourself what the situation is that you're living in, and acknowledge that this is no longer the way that you can live your life, because 10 also represents ending when we have numerology. From 1 to 9 is the basic numbers, and 10 which also is here, Wheel of Fortune. Tens represents ending of cycle, and then we start from the 1 again, which is beginning of a new cycle. Which is funny because this is actually the card of 11 and we have 10 and 1. So again, we have 10 basically 3 times, which is a huge confirmation that you need to end this cycle that you have been living probably for since childhood or for a very long time. And I think how you can actually start doing it, well, like I said, first admit the situation that you're in. This might be a long process because 10 is the ending number and we have Pisces and South Node, which are, for example, when we think of enlightenment in general or spirituality and all that, the process is not like you say Om and you sit in lotus position for 5 minutes and you're enlightened. No, that takes years and years and your whole lifetime of practice that you can get into closer to who you are and closer in touch with who you are. It's not just one day practice. You need to be disciplined because this guy has been very disciplined on gathering all these ones. Practice some type of disciplinity, if that a word. Is that a word? I don't know. Discipline, like practice some type of discipline. Putting yourself every day to do a type of spiritual practice. You can choose for yourself which resonates to you the most. You can do things like affirmations, which are very powerful. They are very underestimated. If you talk to yourself every day, 5 minutes, I don't know, you can be in that lotus position, or you can look at yourself from the mirror, or whatever works for you, and repeat 5 minutes good positive things about yourself, even though how icky it might feel. It actually starts transforming. Like I said in the beginning, everything starts from within and then it's reflected to the outer world. And if there's some type of discord between those things, it's creating blockages and just energetic blockages in our lives, and it's starting to affect our physical and mental health. So again, 5 minutes of everyday affirmations, that's great. If that's not for you, you can choose some other thing like guided meditations. There's a lot of beautiful content on YouTube, for example. Or when some years ago I started doing meditation on a daily basis, I was using this app called I cannot remember. I will link this into the description. I will find it. There's a beautiful app there that there's a lot of people putting content on guided meditation. There's also a lot of videos also on YouTube, like these relaxing frequencies called solfeggio. People use them for relaxation and all that, but they actually resonate with your base energetic chords. So they start balancing your chakras in your body. Again, this type of energy healing work is very great. I also use that. Or on a more mundane basis, justice also represents like a psychologist or judge or something. You can do the work with a psychologist. That is also a great option. Have somebody that is on a position that can help you with this process. But the thing is that we cannot outsource the work to other people. We need to do it ourselves. So I'm not saying that psychologists is not great. They are. But the thing is that with the psychologist, with the work that they are doing with ourselves, then we put that work into ourselves. I don't know how to explain this. Like the psychologist gives us the tools and the keys on how to change our reality. And then we take those keys and unlock the locks that we have within us. So we need to still do the work. We take what the psychologist gives us, and then we sit with it and we do the work. And again, it takes time. Be patient with yourself. Don't expect miraculous change in one day. Also, one great thing that apparently a lot of people had success for, I have never tried it, so I cannot talk for myself, but people do these vision boards. Like, for example, if you have Pinterest or you want to do it by hand, that's also okay. Like, envision the type of life that you want for yourself. Be it work, be it relationship, be it yada, yada, yada. What type of life would you like for yourself? What type of character would you like to be? For example, you can go to YouTube, or you have some idol or something that you look up to. It's like, oh, I would like to have a life that that person has, or I would like to look like the person that I'm admiring. And then you can use it as a motivator for you to start pushing yourself towards being that person that you want to be, or the person that you look up to, or the type of life that you want to have for yourself. Have that kind of reminding you every day that, oh, this is the life that I want to have. And this is the work that I'm gonna put for myself so I can achieve that type of life. So I'm no longer in that lack energy. So I'm no longer feeling abandoned or feeling in this very negative energy that is no longer serving me. I want something new in my life. I no longer want to live in my past. I no longer want the past, whatever happened in my past, to hold me back. I want something new. I want a change in my life. Something that I can feel that I'm actually doing, that I'm actually living the type of life that brings me joy and enjoyment. I'm just going round and round with the same message. I hope that this has helped you. This is highly encouraging you to do the inner work with yourself, because that will help you to actually push yourself towards the type of life that you want. That is the message within you. I think that there is some inner child asking for help and your attention, but you have been pushing it down. Now is the time to go more deeper into that side. Okay, so I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.